defensive backfield with Dalvin away, and you've got other guys who are getting other reps. What are you seeing from those guys?
Yeah, I think this spring it's been really good to see Alex Madison, take a few more reps and really show that all three down kind of ownership that he's been capable of for a long time. I think that between Kene and Ty, there already seems to be a really nice competition brewing there because both those guys are having really solid springs and kind of showing their versatility. Can they impact us not only in the run game, Kev, but the pass game to me is about their ability to win when they're running routes, but you got to be against this defense. You got to be willing to step in there and block a little bit in pass pro. It's not something we can get full-time real reps of without pads on right now, but you can certainly be working your technique and fundamentals. And then, McBride's coming along, really well. And like a lot of our rookies, we don't really slow down for those guys. It's part of the method is to make sure they come in and feel, kind of that deep end of the pool type of, man, I got a long way to go. We've got time. We get extra time with them. But we want that entire group pushing each other, and really been happy with that group so far. And CJ, having CJ in that room,
right.
I can't speak enough about what CJ means to me as the head coach and critical part of our leadership.
Kevin, to go back to the joint practices, does that allow you to kind of do what you did last year in terms of being pretty cautious at the start when you actually get into the preseason game?
Yeah, we'll see. I really, tend to try to treat those as individual opportunities and really assess where guys are at in their attempts to either make our team, solidify a role, if they're a guy we know is going to be here, and ultimately just if there's a chance to use those competitive environments to help solidify the best 53 guys for our team, we're going to do that, but never at the cost of potentially overly putting your players at risk. And that's where I think to get your starting groups 70-80% of the work on those days, those guys feel like they played a preseason game and then some, when you get to later on in those weeks. So it's a great point. It's something that I'll be talking to Flo and Hat and Wes about as far as each individual player, and we'll have a plan for those guys that also pertains to the first game at Seattle and what that means for our group.
Yeah, what do you see from your inspection? How much you want to assess it?
Yeah, I thought instinctively, even when he didn't really truly know the offense from an in and out standpoint of exactly what his role and responsibility was, I thought last preseason you saw a ton of just natural instincts as a runner show up, toughness, great finish. We've seen his impact in the past game and kind of his overall football IQ show up from day one. That was a huge reason why we kind of fell in love with him a year ago. He's having a really good offseason, and I think he's excited. That year one to year two jump at that position, just the feel of, not a lot of these guys get real, tangible reps just in the run game of feeling, our NFL run scheme concepts, how certain combinations are hit. So every rep matters for him, and it did last year. And I thought he used truly a year where, he had some different roles before the injury where he, could be activated on teams, he could get a jersey on game day, and then ultimately make sure that each and every week was a developmental process for him so he can be ready to go for this year.
What do you see with the whole consistency, allowing guys back together, you said that they kind of just look at each other and see. Have you seen them take a step to get ahead? It's hard to judge OTAs from last year.
Yeah, no, it's a great question just because there's some days that I kind of know based upon what we're scripting and what the look may be, what the outcome might be, and it's we're not spoon feeding information to those guys. Between Kirk and Garrett and the rest of that offensive line, they're solving problems in real time. Sometimes with things that I hope to get to, post Memorial Day or in June, just to introduce before training camp, and they're already, hey, you guys remember this call, and they activate it. And so just the ownership is huge. The communication inside out, outside in, those guys being on the same page. And then you see Brian O'Neill essentially right there in that huddle. Every time Kirk calls a play, he's there. He's just not taking the rep right now, but he's doing great. And having that group together, not only the starting five, but the critical factor of the depth in that room, all being guys returning that we feel like we have one of the deeper rooms in the NFL.
And the wide receivers, Justin right now, Jordan, what do you see from maybe KJ in the leadership role, and then also guys like Jalen Naylor heading into year two?
Yeah, KJ's been a real standout all spring. He's moving around, he's playing multiple spots, taking on a leadership role, which I expected him to do in that room, and it's just been a really cool process to see not only his ownership of what his role was previously, but you can see it, when he breaks the huddle. He knows what to do. He knows, how to apply all the different techniques and fundamentals that Keenan and Tony talk about. And then, his ability to just be consistent no matter where we put him, run or pass, is huge. And Jalen Naylor keeps showing up as well, and Jalen Reagor as well. Those guys, one of the things that's been great about this spring is getting to see different combinations of guys in different spots, and truly in real time seeing who's exactly where in the lens of comfort in any position in our offense. We teach concepts, we teach roles and responsibilities that we can alter and change at any time based upon what we see fit when the season comes around. You guys know that. So when we are in this learning and teaching phase, we are evaluating where these guys are at mentally, because they're all very talented. But as I just told the team when we broke it down, it's one thing you guys know. When you break the huddle, you know exactly what to do, where to align, what exactly your job is. You know how much better you do your job on that play than the 2 or 3 times a day where a guy may break the huddle with some indecision and not know what to do. It slows our whole operation down, and we're trying to, if there were 5 of those plays a week ago, we're trying to see less today and hopefully none by the end of minicamp.
Last one. Do you expect Justin here for a portion of this stamina or not until mandatory camp?
Yeah, for me, I hope to see him as soon as possible. I think our participation amongst the whole team has been so good that we're able to get great work in. Would love to have him here, obviously, but I think as we work towards minicamp, we'll have a real clean-cut plan of what that looks like, and hopefully get him some work. And I know a lot of the guys will be excited to see him.
Just the first state in Florida, or why is he not here?
It's one of those things that we've had great dialogue throughout the off season. A lot of that will stay between Justin and I, but I just know he's getting work, wherever he's spending his off season. Look forward to having him here when he decides to come up, and I know his teammates will be excited about that.